bring you a startup wish list. What does India's startup ecosystem want?
To tell you just that, today we bring you founders who are building for Bharat, the EV space and the growth of private space tech, an industry that's coming into its own. So without further ado, Shruti, let's start with our focus on the rural economy or the companies that we essentially say are building for Bharat at this point.
Absolutely, Arundhati. India has largely been an agrarian economy where supply chains have been broken and continue to be so in large parts of the country. Land ownership is majorly marginal and the role of technology has been fairly recent. However, we've seen startups coming in and there have been significant changes. In fact, in Budget 2023-24, the Finance Minister announced a bunch of new initiatives to empower the growth of data-led farming, which could improve farm output and double farmer incomes. To tell us what the agri-tech or the rural economy builders expect from this year's budget, joining us now are Shashank Kumar, the co-founder of DeHaat, and Tausif Khan, the co-founder and CEO of Gramophone. Shashank and Tausif, welcome to Startup Street. Shashank, let me start with you. DeHaat is a business to farmers platform. Like you say, beej se bazaar tak. You offer a complete range of agricultural services to farmers. As we approach the 2024 Union Budget, are you anticipating a sharper focus on artificial intelligence, machine learning and IoT technologies? What is your big ask?
Hey Shruti, thanks for having me. And I think the first expectation is the continuity of the focus on AI, ML, the overall technology, and eventually the last mile digitization at a farmer level. DeHaat has always been a big believer of last mile digitization, whether it's the farmers and their respective land parcels. And in addition to the continuity, if I just add, I expect definitely the sharper focus around these things and specifically around the integration of your LLMs and the new version of GPTs in form of the digital public goods. And the reason why, because as we all know that that because of the digitization, on the success of digitization, eventually the better agri input solutions, the financing to the farmers, the insurance to the farmers, and all those things basically will improve, which is the very high need of the Indian farmers. And currently, because all these things are highly underpenetrated.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, I would also expect the another element, which is the adoption. So there has to be certain incentives directly for the farmers towards the usage of all these applications, which will be developed over next few years or so.
Sure. All right, let me quickly go across to Tausif now. Gramophone is an intelligent farming platform for farmers in India. Tausif, what are your budget expectations? What is it that you want the finance minister to address that is crucial for a thriving rural economy?
Hi, thanks Shruti for having me on the show. I think some of the aspects of it Shashank touched. One of the critical needs, and at least for the last 10 years being in this sector, is access to credit in the entire ecosystem. That changes a lot of things, gives a lot of power to the farmers. I think a lot of decisions from the farming point of view are actually driven by where the farmers are getting credit from. And currently, the rate at which informal market works anywhere between 24 to 60% actually a lot of times. That is one aspect. If there is incentivization plus more data bag-like decisions which are done by even for priority sector lending through public banks, RRBs plus other NBFCs, I think that is one thing which will have a huge impact on decision making of the farmers. When we are talking about adoption of digital services, I think this one thing incentivizes people plus disincentivizes wrong decision making, because product purchase for inputs is actually mostly on credit. And once this step is taken and there is more adoption, I think that will have a huge impact. Secondly, there has been a lot of talk plus work also started on AgriStack. That is one thing which will be a huge impact on the adoption of things. Again, I'm also touching more on the adoption part, because I think there is a lot of digital penetration that has already happened, but adoption is still a little away or a little distant, which we are seeing. It can be accelerated by these 2-3 things in a much
Right, Tausif. So adoption there is actually crucial. But Shashank, coming back to you, if you could tell us, quickly, let's talk about enhancing storage infrastructure in this sector, right? What is the ask there? What can be done to deliver significant benefits for farmers, agriculture machine owners, and OEMs alike?
Oh, so I think there has been a number of initiatives historically taken in this space, Arundhati, and that's the reason why agriculture has been like one of the major drivers of Indian economy in last couple of years, and specifically because on the success of infrastructure, we have seen the boost in export, right? I mean, even at Dehat, at this point of time, I think we have started exporting directly to more than 30 countries. Overall, because of the success of infrastructure, every day we are handling more than 7,000 tonnage of farm produce aggregation, but still huge scope of going deeper and deeper. So I think ask here is that the ongoing initiative and thought of developing crop clusters, which is like one district, one crop initiative in form of PPP, ABCD initiative of government. But here I think that crop cluster has to be linked with the right post-harvest infrastructure for that respective crop, so that basically those infrastructure can further enhance the overall agri export, the size from India, Arundhati.
Absolutely. And Tausif, in 30 seconds, if you could tell us a clear regulatory framework to encourage innovation while ensuring data privacy and security is crucial for the sector's growth, right? So your view on this?
So I think on these two things, changes in the regulatory policies basically disturb the decision making of people. The policies on export, I think there is a challenge of managing inflation, but I think clear policies over there would lead to actually a lot of innovation. Plus, I think the policies on drone policy plus incentivization of investment in agriculture. There is a recent development around AgriSure 750 crore fund, more incentivization in terms of maybe tax breaks or capital gains. These are some of the things that would help innovation, plus also adoption. Again, I'll touch that point.
All right. Tausif and Shashank, we've completely run out of time, but many thanks for joining us on Startup Street, and thank you so much for taking us through the big ask from your sector for the Union Budget 2024. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, from decoding